it, and that sort of thing. But there were those laws that had to be transmitted to their children and children's children and all. Like Elder said, these laws never change. It is still there forever. He said that he would give land if they obeyed the law. He didn't take them out of Egypt because they were obedient. He did it for love. Does someone want to explain this further? Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 8. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 8.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 8. Can I read? But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, had the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Amen.
Amen. I will pray on this. And the speaker was saying, in fact, the, 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 the Israelites, when they were in Egypt, didn't even have the opportunity to observe the Sabbath, to keep the laws, to keep all those things. But still, God saw it necessary to move them out of the place. If it was keeping the law, and they don't even deserve to be helped to move out of slavery. The commandments on the tablets of stone presented to Moses embody God's love. These 10 precepts show us, in a form understood by humans, what love looks like in the life of a follower of God here on earth. In simple terms, we realize how we can return love to a God who has always loved us, no matter how far we are from his kingdom. We're talking about love, the law and the grace. Yeah? Now, Moses did not just repeat the law in Deuteronomy. He repeated examples of grace that God has shown his people. And one of them is them moving out of Egypt. That it wasn't because of them keeping the law to the letter, but because of the grace of God. Okay? How do we reconcile the law and the grace? Any ideas here? They say the law in Deuteronomy. How do we reconcile it? Yes, Elder.
Like we said from the beginning, and I asked the question, what is which one came first? Is it the law or the grace? I think God, His own wisdom, when He established the world and He gave us the freedom, He gave man the freedom. He knew that there is the possibility that man may decide to rebel instead of being loyal to Him always. And then He made provision for the grace. That in case man rebels, He made a provision for back, man back onto himself. So I would say that grace came because of the possibility that man can sin, man can break the law of God. I was also going to say that, if you look at from the beginning, it was only the fourth commandment that God gave. I would say maybe that was the first one that He asked the Israelites to keep, because see, in creation, on the sixth day when God created man, He said God created man, and God rested on that day, and He hallowed that day. He didn't talk about the other laws. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, and so on. But he realized that God hammered on keeping the Sabbath holy. That is why, but at a certain time, God, let me say that, but then the other laws were implied. There could be the implied one, and there could be if you look at the genesis of how the law came, after creation, God has, through Moses, God had to remind the Israelites about the laws again. At a certain stage, God had to write the laws even on the tablet. And at a certain stage, God said, "No, now I'll even write it on your heart." So the laws have been there, but some of them were implied. And then here in Deuteronomy, Moses went ahead again and gave us even the benefit of why we should keep the law, which is also another dimension to the whole thing.
God's grace forgives us for having violated his law. Agreed. And God's grace enables us to obey his law. We're obeying because of God's grace, but not because of our own strength.